Herman. Yeah, we give thanks. We give thanks to Herman. And you see the song No For I. A young man that hear the song there and I love it so much. And I said to Bongo Herman, you know, I write a verse to add to that song and I want it to be done. Here what the next verse say. Read selected speeches each and every day. Apply them to your life. You'll never go astray. Practice what you preach. You won't commit a breach. All you got to do, praise the Most High. No for I. Come right over. I say to know for right. You better come right over. If you want to live forever where you never, never die. Never, never steal. Never tell no lie. Want him for your own. You don't have to roam. All you got to do, praise the Most High. That song there, for everybody I wonder who's the little short man. So that song that show you says you want no Williams, come over. You got to come right over. Give Bongo Herman another nice round of applause. Rastafari. All right, welcome to the live, all right?
You know, Rasaiva, there was a little baby girl on the stage a while ago, and I guided her to the back and loaned her my yellow shaker, and she ran off with it. Anyone see a yellow shaker around the place? Oh, it reach up there, so Congo Judah. Give thanks. You know, I want to read something. We're not going to show the Line of Judah documentary tonight. That's a documentary that was done to show the visit of His Imperial Majesty to Jamaica. But the very, very last part of the documentary is always something that touched my heart, you know? Because it says, the time had come for us to say goodbye. The emperor had spent 3 days with us. Haile Selassie, Emperor of Ethiopia, descendant of Solomon and Sheba, had touched the heartstrings of Jamaicans as no other stranger had done. He had generated a tidal wave of emotion that had swept the length and breadth of our island and engulfed the people with an enthusiasm and affection never before witnessed in Jamaica. Let's give His Majesty a round of applause. Never before. It's not we say so, you know, Isis. It's not we say so. Never before he had touched the people of Jamaica like no other visitor, no other stranger had done. So we have a panel coming up now. Mutabaruka going to play some music for us while we prepare for our first panel.
So guys, welcome back as I resume my live because earlier on my battery went. Thanks for the support for everyone here. And I'm going to take a break, but hopefully I can share the live again. Yeah, man, greetings. Welcome to my live, yeah. You know, I do my little thing because at least I have it here documented. I'm here. I'm at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center, the 60th day. I assembly. See, it's some roots and everything later on, but looking around. I've been doing registration.
Yeah, listen up. So when listen, when it's about 17 years here, so we can because if you $100 a day, you pass 6,000. Because 1 month at 30 days. And if you $100 at 30 at 3,000, and at 12 months with that, so
Oh, awesome. Awesome Siva. Awesome Siva, yeah, man. Which is awesome Shiva. Awesome Shiva. Oh, smells good.
Really good.
Oh, smells nice. Hi. Camera water. Oh.
Everyone there, they are good there.
Say water. I want to see water.
we can get the water.
Okay, cheers.
Everyone there, just I alone there.
Cheers, man.
Everyone there, just I alone there.
What about that?
Everyone is there.
Sorry, we went to. Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, man, Lagos there tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. I see you come a big. I see you come a big. You come big last night?
Thank you. You come on, thanks. I was at Siba, yeah? Family. And we are there in Salt Marsh, Trelawney. Yeah, man, with Rastafari. They were on the radio if you listen. Powerful reasoning on Sunday, you know? Yeah, man, so we family, yeah, with this. Yeah. Yeah, man. I was at Siba. Seba, indigenous Rastafari community sacred space where the full observance of the liberty and the principles of Rastafari was Seba further declared that our members adhere to the tenets of the Rastafari faith and abide by the precepts and teachings of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie and Rastafari community. We also declare our sacramental rights to give Isis to Rastafari in celebration of our autonomy and liberty. We make specific reference to the amendment of the Dangerous Drugs Act of 2015 with this provision that allows for the use of ganja cannabis by the members of the Rastafari faith as their sacrament. The Dangerous Drug Amendment Act 2015 Section 7C Sub 1, subject to subsection 2, a person who fight in section 7F commits an offense if subsection 1 should not apply to the possession of ganja for any of the following purpose. A. Religious purpose as a sacrament in adherence to the Rastafari faith. United Nations declare of the rights of indigenous people. Article 3. Indigenous people have the right of self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic and cultural development. Article 4. Indigenous people in exercising the of self-government in matters relating to their internal and local affairs, as well as ways and means of financing their autonomous function. And the country leader space, Ras Jabrai and the number there. That's the fire Jabrai. And they put it as a raga chairman and they put them there. And I put them right the family where I say they link up the man them. Farmer there. A good thing I walk around and get a chance to go live again. Peanut there, roots there. Sorry, we go look.
Yes, your lunch. Yeah.
We there.
Dinner, your sip, your juice. Yes.
I KM Jamaica TV. KM Jamaica TV. KM Jamaica TV.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
See, I take something from the house, still house of Seba.
House of Seba, yeah, man. Seba. Seba, house of Seba,
So when I chief, you chat to the chief and get some
more info from him, man. Up this, why chief, you know. Yeah, man, when you know, we don't read the really kind of full of bridges, yeah, man, one, the reason, yeah, man.
yes,
We come through, man.
yeah, man, you're right.
Yeah, man, yeah, we come through.
You see, I read that one.
Half I poster, yeah, man. Which is declaration. Yeah, man. So this is why you buy your house, I buy there and run on there, which is good, you know.
You have some information that
So you remember your house?
yes, sir.
Aye.
We have information that is presented within the United Nations that
Rights. Yeah, United Nations give us rights. Yeah.
give INI the right. Anna, I live in life.
Oh, we have to declare rights. So what you said, so you said they are not honoring our rights. United Nations are not honoring our rights.
So they honor the rights.
They honor our rights.
Their rights within.
So we need to
Saying that they
observe the rights
the last year.
and act it out and whatever. Yeah.
See, there are a lot of it that the police forces, law forces that are govern the space now work with. And people them don't know of the practice there.
So they abuse the rights.
So they abuse the people them.
People them.
because they don't know.
People them for their rights. We abuse the people. Yeah.
So we practice that development as an indigenous community.
Yeah.
And to earn the right according to the laws.
Yeah. So the idea get the word out there so once I want to know their rights and so we join one force
Yes,
and make Jamaica run it proper. With
Besides,
rights.
Besides how the UN has done all that as they have a setting of look at what His Majesty himself has done declared for all islands. See, and this is what this deal is representing also. And visit here is a declaration in itself. And see levels.
Yeah, man.
So within that said declaration, we give INI self right and authority to us. INI liberty and natural liberty.
See.
See
Yes, sir.
levels.
Yes.
You know, that established figure within the government basis.
Yeah.
Written.
I'm at the end, you know?
Yeah,
government.
within the said laws, and that's why I mentioned it in the UN
Yeah.
earlier. Through the said UN,
Yeah.
I mean, some of these documentations are
Yeah, man.
sea levels.
Yeah, man. It's over.
Come on, speak to the chief.
Yeah, man. One day. Yeah, man. Yeah, meeting sister tell you back. I'm on my life here. Yeah, I see him Raga and Seba Oh, here are the products, some of the products. And you have farm produce. We have farm produce here. Hey, your sister there. Siba. Oh, she's there. Yeah, man, we have Snapchat. Hey. Yeah, man. Reach fireball, good thing. With that town, See, Buzz Rock. Yeah, man, herbs, What to say? Sour salt leaf. I,
Yes, sir.
yeah, bless the Lord. Just looking. All right, so what's going on? I'm not buying things. Oh, right, so that's already pre-roll one. Me and speak out. So how much a gram in? You know the gram. You have a gram
No,
scale.
we do not sell it by the gram because when we sell it by the gram, it's a bit too small. So we just measure it like how we are indigenous persons. So we just go by the looks of the weight of how we'd like to present it.
Yeah.
Not to measure it by the gram or what.
All right. So I mean, do
The gram is a bit too small
one
when
time
you
I was,
measure it.
yeah. Too small to in other thing. When you sell it, you make back the money. If it costs for the cost of the herbs, wow.
No,
Or it work out.
no, it is so small for the buyer. When the buyer look at it, it seems like it doesn't reach the. So instead of that, we
When you increase, you could have increased the amount of
but we
herb put on it.
increase
And get it to like say 6 grams or every 1.6 gram of it $100.
Yeah.
And then you save your work out and save that will make you make
Well,
back your
maybe in
money.
the future now,
Because we're talking about regulation. That's why I did a research about 20 long time when they do the first ganja fest in Nickel.
I was there.
You were there, all right. I was doing my research there, but I never continue with the research there. But it's either coming about this regulation idea and all the thing. So me realize now if me come buy a slip for you, can I do the experiment here and go buy from somebody else. With the $100, I buy from you, I get one a size like this. I go buy from my next man, I get a bigger size or a smaller size. So yeah, for the same 100 to one with the regulation things about anywhere I go in Jamaica, where the man to go here and kids I see him weight. So I was scales still I 2 scales me have. I we need to be. But if we go do, if we are going to do, if we are going to do, yes, that also depends on that. Because it's the high grade in the overseas, the high grade 1 gram for 1 gram of a 10 pound. You say the local are 1.6 gram for the same 10 pounds. So the grade make it more. All right, smaller, can you high grade, you get the buzz, yeah?
Right.
I see high grade split what we experiment was 2 pull, and you feel it. And you can't done your, you have to put it on, you put it on for a while, you can't stay there, but you have to put it out. Yeah, all right. So we are due for the regulation. So the regulation of the herb, I mean, hope say it can spark a thing,
You know,
So,
say, we are the chiefs about this in the other day, because we normally say we are drum out the weed, but after a while now, we say in just a put, we can't do the drumming again. But look, but I suggest,
he might be the patient if you put it on machine.
I suggest to him now that we should. So it is in the making.
Because remember, we are doing the dispersory, we are doing the farm, we are doing the transportation of herbs, so we need to book. Yeah, big up yourself, sister. Yeah, mama, you hear on the radio, you sound well, Sunday morning. Very powerful, inspiring, yeah? The program is good, me want to even go listen it over.
Yeah.
That's Sunday morning program. Big up. Raga. Irie. What a beautiful. Now being if I go burn tonight, so I ask the ones them can't come down Ranny William Center. We are here. See? We're there. Bongo Herman, we are here and knowledge, Herbs is here. Muta Baroque and stage up there right now. I'm saying that too. Registering in my background will get me in a trouble, but the sunset is beautiful. Alright, I'm mute a bit. Say my cap and mute. High Nation, man. Come on, High Nation. A nation empire go on a Kingston. You can't come in and get in one. In like one day of the week, I think them launch up, but you know we are. High Nation, yes, alright. Let me see my kitchen. Ear up my kitchen. Ear up my kitchen. Meet my kitchen and artists, reggae artists, reggae sing. Reggae singer, sing. Yeah, man. Bigger. Food, yeah. Mikey. My brother there, man. One love. Yeah. Right, food smells good. Our kitchen is a mama fire kitchen. A proper fire in the kitchen. Wow. I tell you, proper fire kitchen. Rastafari kitchen. Yeah, so come over later and the food, the juices. Have the juices, yeah. Let's come in with up with the Hope Road. We're in Hope Road at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center. Remember I say I'm a countryman and I can't tell you. See? Food, pastry, food. Smells good. Food smells good. You have Hi-Fi kitchen also. For people of Jamaica by and large origin Africa. Alright, so nice food. We leave the Empress for a while now. We go check the Empress. See what I go on Empress good. She right there. She alright. I say happy. Hey, let you. Let me mute my mic. Our prayer. Abuja.
Hey, watch out, man. It's not true, man. I'm the biggest Batman song. I'm the best Batman song. I'm going to know why I'm hard to play.
So we're going to have a panel discussion later too.
What you want to us to be? We are what we are. That's the way it's going to be. You don't know.
Educator, equal opportunity. Talking about freedom.
People freedom.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're there, man. Welcome and thanks for coming to the live, yeah? I remember I said you're alright. We are the Ranny Williams Entertainment. So look, see most of I right here. See? Live. camera crews are out. TV channels are here. See, Rasta Cora, poet up front, face up. See, Rastafari, you know. Joyous day, you know. And we are gonna make this. For ourselves, you know. Feel joyful to know that we get recognition when our Ivan King, you know, Emperor came to Jamaica. Yeah, man. Respect Rasta, respect the Rasta, you know. Rasta is no black heart, man. Rasta peace and love, you know. Yeah, right. Remember, you know, so respect. Yeah, man. Where's the watch now, fire? Yeah. A photograph. I want to take one picture here. Yeah? You're good, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right, I'm taking some great photographs. They're going to love the way of blood fire. I tell you, they're going to love the way. They're going to apply a bit of bonfire. They want to go and apply to backside. They want to go and apply me and say, no, that's you. That's where that come from. We give them one with Bridging Kali at the background. Alright, I want to that with you. We're going to love them. We're going to love them. So we give them some bad photograph. We give them some shot like this. We give them one. Give them some shot like there. Yeah, so you know, now look now. We give them some good shots, man. A profile, you know, the great profile. You understand me? And the young general there. I don't know who the general is, but the general. That's the fire. Hello. I see that. Come on. Share the life for everyone that's repeat. Share the life and make everyone that's Rastafari and the Pan-African. Look at the Pan-African Rastafari at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center. Not only Rasta, it's a Pan-African Rastafari at the Ranny Williams Entertainment Center. God bless people. Come in. Forward in. Let me get tonight, but come in. Reason I'm going now. Well, I'm see nothing but part of blood fire.
I search and I search. Great book of mine. In the Revelation, look what I find.
Doctor, I'm holding herbalist, the intellect, Rastafari, one here. Good reasoning. Great reasoning. Joining us for the reasoning. I'm going to move to them. Let's say move to Baroka. I'm playing the front stage. Muta playing at the front stage. The Muta front stage. Father Muta.
I know so we got to try original system there. I will play one of the anthems. This play.
Jadman style. We'll go closer to Muta. Let's go closer to Muta.
Okay, you go.
Closer.
Okay.
Muta. Up front there.
Easy.
I'm playing music. I'm playing music here. Music. We're on stage. It's beautiful up here, man. On stage at the Ranny Entertainment Center. I tell you.
There's a picture on the wall, Rastafari, There's a picture on the wall, Rastafari, in my house. There's a picture on the wall, Rastafari.
Wait a second. Muta Baruka. Yeah. It's the 12 tribe of Israel, Rastafari sound system, you know. When you come out the 12 tribe of Israel, and this will produce the artists. I love it and perform. I love it perform, Muta. Brother Muta, you supposed to. Yeah, man. So 12 tribe of Israel, them, when you come on to Rastafari and sound system and artists. Yes. Father Muta, you know?
There's a picture on the wall, Rastafari.
Big up, and the elder, you know, he's on the stage through time. Bongo Herman is a pioneer. Bongo Herman is a percussionist and Parry Bob Marley. Bongo Herman, Parry Bob Marley. Bongo Herman is a writer, a songwriter. He's one of Jamaica creative. You know, he's 100. You're 100 to Bongo Herman. You're 100. Where you get that? Oh, wow. What distinction? Life. Out of just life. You get life, more life. I have the story. I have the story over her. Yeah, keep up. Well, may have a camera right there, sir. But me there, sir. Can I roll the camera? Come in. Alright, thanks for liking the light. You want more light. Over there, what about it?
In my house, there's a picture on the wall, Rastafari. In my house,
that's joyful moment. Everybody joyous. I'm Muta fellow. I think Muta play. See there?
there's a picture on the wall, in my house.
Steady, calm me there. Steady. The first man on the panel. We know Julian and I are first man. Female, Sister Tiba. Yeah, from the UK, we do her. That's what I mean. So, I'm going to join and listen to the discussion, you know. I'm going to listen to the discussion. Oh, that is the word they want. And I say, look at it, yeah, man. So, yeah, oh, yeah, hear me when the music I go on here. Leonardo, first of all, the first Rasta man, Ethiopianism and Black Liberation. This man is the one that brings the message, the message to us in Jamaica. I'm one crown in Ethiopia, King of Kings. Greetings, man. Oh, what this gathering is all about? Oh, the 60th anniversary of the visit of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia. Yeah, man. So we are all here, great iconic figures, and everyone there, just university, academia, poet, Muta Baruka, and is also operator, sound system, the black music, black culture, black art man, black Muta.
I want to
So, university scholars.
to His Imperial Majesty,
Yeah.
Emperor Haile Selassie
I'm going to turn on the camera and forward.
Empress Benin Asfa. I want to give thanks for this day. 60 years since the physical incarnation here in Jamaica, His Majesty. I give thanks particularly because I see it as kind of like my Earth Strong, but 9 months after the visit of His Majesty to Jamaica. So my first birth took place during the visit. It seemed Mommy and Daddy got a balancing act together, you know. I give thanks for this panel. We're looking at wellness. I want to give thanks for my panelists. I'm going to start by giving thanks to Empress Taliba, who brought better balance to this panel. She didn't just bring herself, but she brought Sister May to balance out the four brethren who otherwise would be trying to represent this conversation. I have well-known King Isis with us here, Dr. B from Dark Foundation, First Man from Rastafari Village, and Priest Lamont, who I assume is representing a number of organizations, but dressed in the Congress's attire, Ethiopian Black International Congress, and representing Rastafari, all mansions as well. I want to pause to situate this conversation in balance and to give thanks for the organizing committee for this event, for being better balanced as a team in terms of youth energy, man energy, woman energy, you know, perfectionist energy, people who have big vision energy. Because you know, some of the man them would have settled for a simple affair. But thanks to the full balance on the panel of organizers, the vision that you see here today is a reflection of that kind of harmonious working to bring. This is where the wellness begins, just in the gathering. So I want to ask you all to recognize the organizers, give them a round of applause for giving us this elevated feeling of goodness. When His Majesty came to Jamaica, the spirit that he left with us lingered for months. It didn't disappear when he boarded the plane in Montego Bay. For months after, the police had to go to the dongle and try to beat down Rastafari again by bulldozing our communities not long after the visit to kind of put a check on things. The visit was that energizing. And across the region, we're striving to use the visit of His Majesty as a building block. You know, that's precisely why he came.
Thanks for coming to the live.
Came here. Jamaica is one of the only places in the Western Hemisphere that have a school named after the Emperor. And he laid a building block when he came here, you know, but that school building block is just a symbol of what the visit represents as a building block between I and the rest of the Caribbean and the rest of Africa. We want to further contextualize this conversation. During Melissa, you know, I don't know about the rest of the IBM, but Rastafari wellness became a concern to I. When I saw how we responded to hurricane relief, the kinds of things that were being circulated, you know, the needs that were being met, I didn't see our community's needs as being understood and being responded to in a critical way. But Melissa also asked us the question if we are content to be in these kinds of Caribbean spaces that will always be vulnerable. Worse with climate change, those kinds of hurricane that you saw during Melissa is what they are predicting going to become more regular within the landscape. So I and I are the only ones looking long term.
Yeah.
Our governments have 3 and 5 year plans.
A lot of seats
They
over
are
the
not looking 50 or 100 years. I and I are the only ones who have ever had that kind of long-term vision. And we're not just doing it for Rastafari, we're doing it for I and I, humanity. We are talking about sustainable development and pollution of the earth and them all of what you see, which affect our well-being. And that's really what situates this panel. There are issues like artificial intelligence. I don't hear our government talk about that. There are issues such as limiting internet access for youth. I don't hear our government talk about the way students force in school by deregulating schools outside of discipline, returning them to hands-on experiential learning, giving students more power in their curriculum development. I don't hear us taking on that kind of progressive understanding of what the needs of the 21st century are. I hear us as essentially using technology and dependent on technology and vulnerable in that kind of way. The people on this panel have been consistently making differences and finding solutions to problems our community face. And to this extent, I want to start with who I perceive as the youngest one on our panel, but not a youth, because he masters a very old tradition of herbs and has come to our attention in Jamaica because he has made these herbs available in portions that people can regulate. They're well packaged and nicely instructions as to what they are beneficial for. So we're going to start with King Isis, just to ask him to kind of set a context for what are our basic challenges as a people in terms of wellness and the kind of system that you have put in place to intervene and the kind of results that you're having. Just a basic overview of your herbal approach.
And thank you very much, for your presence, your patient hearing, and also your rapid attention, Yeah, man, as the general said, our basic challenges that, I, perceive and experience from my nation, is unhealthy eating habits. And unhealthy eating habits is the main contribution to most illnesses. As life shows us all, most sickness in the body occur from the large intestine, and it is through chronic intoxication why most of our system resulting in constipation. And once you're heavily constipated, that same feces is intoxicating the bloodstream. And once the bloodstream and the small intestine is intoxicated with that feces, it's going to move on by harming your cells and also your organs.
Yeah.
So, I approach healing, from the, I would say the perception of, the human body functioning the same, as a engine or a vehicle. Yes, your body is functioning chemically and mechanically, as especially a motor vehicle, as I always, narrate to people, like the motor vehicle created after the human body. That's why the frame of the vehicle is called a body. Your belly is the engine, your heart is the transmission, your lungs is the radiator, the trachea, the windpipe is the breathing nose, your liver and your kidneys is the filter. The vehicle also inhaling and exhaling just as you. So what happened? We pay such prudent attention to the vehicle at all costs by servicing it to maintain it, while we don't pay the same attention to this first vehicle, which is your body. So, for me, as I said before, chronic intoxication is the basic, and because I went through a little vibes as a youth by seeing my mom suffer from cancer, it kind of ignite, a spark in me to study holistic medicine, because cancer kill mama, me I kill back cancer. So, I found out that, the first route is eating unhealthy. So cleansing play 80% role in healing. And, I move straight to it by creating a colon cleanse to combat, that storing of the wrong food, because we are perpetuating the European culture by eating white rice, white flour, bread, bun, biscuit, artificial sweet and flavoring, carbonated beverages, soda, the same sugar and water what them used to give us on the plantation. The eating of dead animals as well, Rasta no go there, so, but nowadays, because them are using fertilizer to grow the same vegetables, we find out some more sickness where the Rastas are suffering from. It's the same illnesses people out there suffering from as well. So, I put things in place to reverse, all of that build up, keeps the stimulation going, and it's working like worldwide. Step one is always the colon cleanse. Then I move on to the stimulation, getting the blood to move, get rid of parasites, rejuvenate the cells, because you're a community of cells walking around the planet. So each time you pass out anything at all, you're also passing out millions of cells. So we found out that most people not eating enough raw fruits and vegetable as well.
True.
So they could, create the supplementary values to also regenerate the cells. Also to balance the pH system, because sugar is an intake where most people ingest on a daily basis. And, as I always say, the only difference between cocaine and sugar is the time when each of them take to kill you. So for me, sugar is just a crystallized, concentrated acid that slowly degenerates the system. So creating the products is really an antidote, and it is forwarding from the Rastafari family as well, because the reason why I'm on even chat this chat is when I found out that at the end of the day, the Rastas are moving in the right direction in terms of eating and thinking. So, I'm very grateful, to be a part of the panel right now and to represent, my company that is doing, great worldwide, helping people. I really don't like to blow my own trumpet, I like the nation to speak, what I am doing for them, and that is exactly what's going on right now, and I'm truly grateful. And on this day, His Majesty 68th Diamond Jubilee visit to Jamaica, for me to be on the panel, it's really, a pumping pleasure and also a privilege, and to represent the Rastafari community and the youth, by also sharing, thoughts become things, and, our life is truly a manifestation of the thought process that we, daily profess. So, my people, continue walking in the right path and eating as healthy as you can. And remember, never tell yourself you're getting old, because truly aging is a disease that can be reversed, but only through proper nutrition, rest, exercise, and fasting. And remember, as I say, rest, exercise, and fasting, every single person right now in here have the ability to become very much more healthier and very much more younger. And it is simple. The fitter you become, and the younger you get. So age do not exist. And Rasta always tell people that from long time. See? So as I said, the fitter you become, and the younger you get, and it is proven. If you run a mile in 5 minutes today, continue running that mile. In the next 2 weeks, that 5 minutes minimize to probably 3 minutes. Continue running that mile up to a month.
Yeah,
The 5 minutes turn 2 minutes.
yes,
What happened to the body?
Yeah, man.
You're becoming younger.
Yeah,
See, so focus on your metabolism. Because with a good metabolism, you have a strong immune system. And with a strong immune system, you also possess the mechanism defense to fight against any sickness, disease, or virus. And remember, there's no sickness that is incurable. Let me say that again. There's no sickness that is incurable. Why? Rastafari is the greatest physician. The earth is the largest pharmacy. Your goodie, which what them call the body, is the greatest healer. And also, herb is truly the healer of the nation. Thank you very much for your patience here and your attention.
Yes, you have products on site, or you want to tell the audience how to reach you, how to find your products, etc.
Okay. My products available in the pharmacies island-wide, all over Jamaica, from Maran Pine to Nigrin Pine. And I also have a TikTok page that is a very viral page, doing great worldwide and also representing the Rasta family. As of them say, Rasta done, but King Isis can't tell you. We just a forward, because guess what? There's so much in the Rastafari youth that because of fear, it's that word fear, it bury most of the greatness inside of the Rastafari family. As the Junagan said, I pity them never know every dreadlocks is a star. It is factual, because guess what? His Majesty forward as the King of Kings, and he came to us. And the reason why he came to us is to give us the enlightenment that we are the kings and queens, the princess and the princesses. That is going to make the throne of David really have no ending, as the Bible says. If David's children shall keep my covenant that I shall teach them, even their children shall sit on my throne. And right now, I personally think I am sitting on many thrones because of this Rastafari tradition and the perpetuation of David's throne. So my people, the Rasta family know I as the doctor in the family, and I don't bestow that title upon myself. Marshanti, Empress from Portland, Fire, Ayatollah, the whole Rasta family. Rasta, the entire family. And it's because of the love, that I really, share forward with the family as giving and receiving our one and truth. Because every night I bring it and kept, the rest of them can tell us that King Isis bring cases of his products for the entire family. Big up to Earthquake as well. They are the people that call me Imhotep and Sizzler. Enough respect to Sizzler as well. He said him a feel the guinea pig. Anything we make, him first have to drink it because him have to test it before him give it to nation. So Sizzler was one of the first, I would say, international star who, tell the world about King Isis and give thanks as well for the Bobo Shanti family who created the balance in me as well. And make me know that the thing is global to the fullest and, reach for the stars because, you have no limit. And big up to School of Vision as well. Big up to the EWF, Ethiopian Federation. Big up to the Judah Captain. Now I'm with you, so you give me everything. Rasai Vai, one of my great teachers. Man, I've been teaching while I'm in England living, and he's here in Jamaica, just sending me messages and knowledges through the cosmic, from them time until now, and still my very great friend and virgin and father, and big up to auntie, sister Mitzi, because of the love as well, see Auntie Bridget and the crew, big up Mama Elise Kelly, who put me to the world, and thank you very much again for your patient hearing and your rapid potential. All that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe it to my mother. Thank you very much. And the Rastafari family.
Thanks, my brother. Well done. I'm going to move to Dr. B because I know that you have been in the United States and you have a similar kind of international ministry in a corrective way as a doctor among I and I. So I want you to follow on from King Isis and just tell us what you've been helping us to.
First thing first. Yeah. Selassie.
Ali Selassie.
Yeah.
Selassie.
That's so better. I Selassie. No, beloved King, well done. The most important thing that all of us must do for ourselves is to educate ourselves. Not miseducation now, but educate ourselves. Because knowledge is the key. Imagine 60 years ago, Our Majesty came to Jamaica. And he gave us a school education. He also gave us medals. The nurse not a stinking Rasta get medal. How comes? Whereas the establishment got cigars. We're talking about health. How healthy is cigars? That our Divine Majesty would bestow cigars upon the establishment within this wonderful island. Yet, to the neglected and the deprived Rastafari nation, he provides medals. And he also provided for us an educational institution. That brings me into the two different ideals that turn us inside out and upside down. There is the ideals of philosophy, which means nothing. It's just someone's opinion. And everyone has a right to his or her opinion. The next ideal is the ideal of science. The truth. It must be tested and applied accordingly.
Read it for me.
Louis Pasteur, who is a French doctor, as he calls himself, he is the person responsible for pasteurization. And what Louis Pasteur said to us was, he is searching in the atom for the chemicals that contributes to life. That MF, die searching. You can translate MF if you wish, but the fact remains that he died searching. And before he kicked the bucket, he said, do you know, I was wrong, because there is no chemical in the building block of life. All we have is 3 electrical charges, namely proton, neutron, and electron. Thus, the key essence of life is electricity. No electricity, no life. You notice when the man drop down, what do? They give him an electrical shock. How funny. They did not give him any pharmaceuticals. And that's a very pretty word. When we are going for your drugstore, so white flour becomes pharmaceutical. And we ever wonder why? On the flip side of that, we seldom hear of nutraceutical, wherein it is via the nutraceutical concept where you are able to obtain that electrical energy. The beloved king spoke about pH. What does pH mean? Percentage of hydrogen. Thus, pH is an electrical energy. 7 being neutral, 14 being the highest, and you start from 1. Each of these must be reflective in a positive electrical charge, or you kick the bucket. Every living being is between 7 and 3.4 and 7.5 electrical charge. Once you dip beneath, you have a major problem, which means that problem is you lack electrical energy. So the key component now is that the sun, Ra, as we call it in our Ethiopian realms, Rastafari, you can say too. When you take a deeper look, the sun provides what?
Heat.
Oxygen.
Yeah, heat.
That's what the sun provides. Another flammable electrical gas. Let's see what this man talk about sun provide oxygen. There's a pretty term they call photosynthesis.
Yep.
How does photosynthesis come into this existence?
Vaporization.
It came to our understanding because it is via the process of photosynthesis that the plants was able to give us what? Oxygen. That's the foundation. No oxygen, no life. The next and equally important is hydrogen, where the majority of us is hydrogen depraved.
Thanks for the light, man. Hey, welcome to the light.
Most of the time we get some hydrogen is via water, because they told us that the composition of water is hydrogen and oxygen. And neither did they tell us that these are two flammable electrical charges. You make an H-bomb, what happened? You make an oxygen bomb, what happened? Nevertheless, together, they are water. In North America, there is the Niagara Falls, the Hoover Dam. This thing provides what? Energy, because within the water there's energy. That electrical charge of hydrogen and oxygen. That is where our people perish. Because we have too much starches in our diet. Lack of knowledge, the people perish. Too much starch. My beloved brethren speak of white flour, but him could have start with white man and hit it where it rightfully belongs. The white man messes up. If you white any day, straight to your heart. What we say, it messes up. What we came to the island of Jamaica for is sugar cane tobacco. Here it is. We were cultivators of sugar cane. The white rum liquid down from the sugar cane, the sugar rotten we eat from the darn sugar cane. I would say, you know what? Make we just drink it now. However, since we are talking about electrical energy and acidity, do you know 1 glass of sugar cane? We are talking about philosophy now, we are talking about science. So the scientists, them no going allow come back and let's talk. All the philosophers, them back up. Because we not deal with philosophy right as now. We are dealing with science and why my people perish. Why so many of us can't be 100, 110, 120. Too much starches and sugar. Sugar is broken down to starch. Our starch is broken down to sugar. You take your pick. That is how the body functions. So whatever you do, cut out the starch. The idea of live food is absolutely important. 51% of all foods that you eat must be uncooked. 51%. Why? Science again tells us that we need enzyme in order to absorb things properly. The missing ingredient from cooked food is enzymes. Uncooked food will provide for you the enzymes. But the brilliance is that if you use 51% of uncooked food, or more of course, you will get the necessary enzymes to break things down. Now, where the dickens does the enzymes come from? Not just in the food, but it is your liver, that gland that manufactures and makes enzymes. There is another portion, an organ, that they discourages us from keeping. Them say, you don't need a gallbladder, cut it out. Garbage. The responsibility of that gallbladder is not for gallstone, but to store the enzyme so when you need it, it will be released accordingly. So, here we are saying now, we are encouraged everywhere because as much as we can run over mouth, we have to come to a solution. Because we know about the pollution already. So let's touch the solution. Each and every one of us can get 5 cloves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. East, west, north, south, and center. 5 cloves. You put that 5 cloves in a glass. You can boil some water, pour over it, or you can simmer it slowly for about 10 to 15 minutes. Thereafter, you want to strain it off. And you're going to put some key lime. Not just any lime, but key lime. Because key lime come with seeds. The other ones have been denatured by the white renegade. Oh goodness. What we're saying is you squeeze that lime into your clothes, and that is the beginning of getting rid of the mucus congestion within your system. It is simple and extremely effective. Do it for 7 days and give Dr. B a card. It will say, Ross. I know why I say Ross now, because they don't want me to say Ross, but yet them put the Ross inside the Psalms. Why would they put Ross inside the paper if they don't want to say, and then they kill the Bible? Ross. No, Rastafari are different. So we Ross them to the very foundation. Yeah, I see. That's what we're talking about. So we say, for the virgin them now who don't use cook things, you can still use your clothes. Get a mason jar or a container and you put your clothes in that container. You get your spring water and you fill the container. And you shake it every day for 7 days. After 7 days, all you need is a tablespoon of that liquid. And it will rent asunder mucus. Thank you so very much, Andrew.
Give thanks. I'm not going to pay for the rest of the consultation. Give thanks, Dr. B. I want to, you understand, say this is not the only conversation, so I want to move to our other panelists. Sister May and myself were having a conversation. Sister May and Empress Taliba are largely responsible for the Elder Care Day, which usually happens once a month at the House of Bread. And they coordinate this with other sisters and brethren. And really it becomes a family day, you know. But she and I were talking recently, and she said to me, you know, she has her 5 fruits start of the day. That's how she breaks her fast, and the 5 are very important. And just reasoning with her, and I know that Sister May, as young as she looks, she's one of our senior elder women, that she had something to share, not just only to offer in healthcare, but just in her own practice. So, Sister May and Empress Taliba, I want to just give you a lot of help the family to understand that what you're doing really is for all of our involved, and that there are many things that can be done by I&I, even just to put on a list that someone is shut in, and we might want to consider them when we're doing our monthly care. So I turn over to Empress Taliba and Sister May just to give us a little summary of what it is that you do for that elder care project at House of Dread, and some of the challenges that here might get some assistance from ones who don't know.
All right, greetings, family. I'm Sister May. I myself and Sister Taliba. Okay. Well, we actually do a elder care group within the Rastafari family. We've been doing this for over 15 years. It's just that we sort of bring in our elders from the communities that they're actually living in, bring them to like House of Trade, and then we do personal care, locks washing, pedicure. We have a nutritionist, we have a medical doctor, we do blood sugar, blood pressure, and all the things that we can actually help to do with the elders. And plus, of course, we make sure we feed healthy food, not white rice, and things that they shouldn't be eating, or we do the healthy food thing. This has been going on, actually it's over 15 years, but I'm just putting it to 15. But what we do need is more help from the Rasta community. We don't really want to have to go to the government to beg them to come and help us care for our elders in the community. We shouldn't have to do that. Think about it, right? This is not something that we should have to do, because a lot of us are out there who should be able to come together, right? For instance, remember when our elder people have had the experience, my background is actually nursing. So I've had the experience of having to take elders to the hospital, and it's not pretty, don't like it. Now, we have connections at the Golden Age home. That's not nice. They don't feed them good. So these are the sort of stuff that we need to look at as a community that is so huge, beginning in Jamaica, right? So we need to set more examples for our elders who go through Black Friday, Remember that? So this is the sort of thing that we need to do to look after our elder people that needs our attention and care. That have you?
Yeah, man.
All right, okay, last year, we thank and praises. We thank Sister May. We thank Janali for inviting us to come. We're very privileged sitting amongst very elite set of ones here on the panel, giving their thanks and praises. And I have no claim to fame other than the blood of Africa that runs in our veins, and the love of Rastafari that beats in our hearts. I came aboard and met Sister May and others on this work of looking after our elders. And it says quite clearly in our creed that the aged should be protected. And I have to say, coming forward and living in Jamaica again, I can clearly see what that means, Because these ancient one who stood up to all kind of obstacles up and down and grown from the white man, pink man, everybody who imitate and take with them culture and batter them still stand up, And in Jamaica, it seems to me that is even more so than anywhere else in the world that I've tried. Because when I go to Africa, an elder still has a privileged position within the family, and the whole family takes care of him. No, it don't also that you don't know which part who that ancient they belong to, or that nobody now look after them, Even though they're not dirty Babylon in England with all the money with them teeth from, with them set up a welfare state so that they know which part the elders them there and can look after them to a degree, In Jamaica, there is no welfare state set up to help nobody, least of all Rastafari ones. I'm sure I'm not wrong about that, I'm sure I'm not wrong about that because I walk through in Jamaica here and I open my eyes and I see. And we all know the history and her story that Rastafari once had to go through back in the day because they choose to hail Emperor Haile Selassie as the living God, We all know and we all see what they had to go through so that all of I and I know are privileged and I can step. And I can hold I head high as Rastafari ones. And I have doctors, lawyers, teachers, we do anything we put our mind to do as Papa Marcus Garvey tell us, and I can do. But we don't know as well, said the white man set we up. The white man science us. Science I know, so I and I will live perpetually in turmoil and in trauma and unforgiving, without love and going like so we are the scum of the earth, And if ones and ones have really been studying and looking and seeing further than the system has tried to tell us who we are, I will all know we are almighty kings and queens without apologies or compromise walking this way. You understand? That is who I and I is. As we look across this community that is here, we can see there are many one give another 10 years or so are going to be ancient and elders. And the creed said, let the aged be protected. You see? So I can't go nowhere but hold up with head and go like we're so big and bright and thing and we know and we not look after the ancients then. We have to look after them, As part of the work with the Ashima Bed Holistic Care Foundation, we have come across some ancients living in some situation, Lord have mercy, man. Not for go so. Truly not for go so. Everyone know one who is ancient, Everyone know one, and it's our duty to go and look after them because a long time we there say we need to own university, we need to own hospital, we need to own doctor, we need to own school, we need to own bank, and it's a come, It a come, but for some ancients it's not there yet, so I still have that duty, that divine duty to look out for them. I'm not saying it's only the ancients one in our community that needs this care, but I am making a plea for them because it says once a man and twice a child. And I have bear witness to that. I can call Ma Shanti as an example, who teach me that lesson, said this is real, once a man and twice a child. Everyone who know Ma Shanti remember, she's the what? Bossy and proud. Queen in Rastafari. And I get to see Ma come right back down to a baby where she put a glass of water to her mouth. You understand? When if I and I live to get to them age, I and I should have ones who know I and I particular needs, I and I particular food, I and I particular care. So as Sister May say, we would like to meet at least once a month and give this care, but the helpers are few. The helpers really are few. It's not just about the money that a one can take out of their pocket and give towards the care or what they can bring. It's actually physically lifting one from the chair to the bed so we can wash their locks. It's actually lifting ones from the chair to go and sit again outside and have them locks dry. Them practical hands-on care there we need. As well as ones coming in with the food and the drinks and things like this. And ones who come and play look nice music. Sometimes we have little chanting as well, just to give the ancients them that energy there again, because once we have finished bathing them, caring for them and leave them, we have to take them back to their homes. And often because they're up in that age and there's no Rastafari institutions or anything for caring for the elders, some of them have to go right back to them Christian family who tell them that this who cooking us and that you have to eat. See? So where it is possible, we do have ones that we know are particularly vulnerable, and where it is possible, we go visit them, carry them some pampers, or just go and look and see how them stay between that and the next care day. More time the care day don't even get to happen more than once every 2 months, sometimes 3 months, because we don't have enough ones who come and is involved in the care day. We're a house of dread. Sister Megan is
Things that's happening around here now. So we've already set one for next month. So as I'm saying, we don't just want people to come, we don't want people to talk, we want action. Because things that we do talk a lot, but when it comes down to the action, it's not there. So my dream
2
is to
million
see
euros.
where
I
one
want
day
persons to
we could have
like
a
up the live
home
more, man.
for elder
And
Rastas
make it
that
go
we
in
could
a
care
day
for them. Not only in
StreamYard and
Kingston, but all over
more
Jamaica.
person know what's going on here. It's a big celebration in
That
Kingston.
was the reason when we set
Rastafari
up
here
this
in
care system over 15 years ago,
the
is that
audience.
we would have the same thing happening in every parish. Hasn't happened. There's few happening around the place, but we don't want that.
So many
Right?
cancers are
And as I
rampant
said, we
in
need to
community
be able to
celebration.
find a
Said
way
the
to do our
sickle
own
cell.
funding.
I mean,
Not from the government,
you're
because we're
70.
supposed to be
Oh,
able to say, we're
Johnny
gonna do it
Johnson.
tomorrow, and then say, no, we are gonna do it when we wanna do it. Right?
Our people need proper
Okay,
education.
sit down.
This is what the Rasta and I want to say.
Very
And
critical
it's too Rasta,
conversation
you want to say not about knowledge. Knowledge is shape,
a lot of
education.
decisions going forward. You realize our time is kind of getting limited, but I know we have two skilled speakers left. First man, I kind of want to shift from elder. You can't speak before. All right. So may I go set the context for the both of the item to respond. First man, I know you've been largely involved with alternative approaches to wellness in our community. You've been dealing with younger people. You've been dealing with nutrition and space and ritual and that kind of thing. I want you to do anything you want to do.
So black man.
And then, Chris Lamont, repatriation, as far as I'm concerned, is at the heart of Rastafari wellness. So that is the context I give you to make your contribution. We both have about 10 minutes together. Give thanks.
Greetings, let me say, mighty praise, worship to our divine King, Emperor Haile Selassie first, Most High God and King, Father, the God of Abraham, who reign enthroned above. We glorify this day and we glorify the coming of the majesty to the liberation of his children. Most High, Jah, Rastafari. I don't need to introduce myself because I've been well introduced by our honorable Ranny, Chris Laban, representing both for the Rastafari Mansions and Organization, and of course, the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of Salvation, where repatriation is part and parcel of I&I teaching and I&I living. And as the brethren said, the time is, critical. So I will talk on repatriation from a few basic points. And of course, we know that repatriation is a criteria of reparation. And reparation in itself is about repairing the breach, a breach of injustice that has been done to I&I. And in particular, we talk about the injustice and the inhumanity of the transatlantic slave trade that has brought most of I&I here. Because I say most of I&I because I&I have been here before Christopher Columbus. But the majority of I&I have been brought here through the transatlantic slavery. And of course, we know that repatriation is really the moving of a people, a mass amount of people from one geographical location to another. And in this instance, we talk about moving from the diaspora, where they have brought us, back to our homeland, our original place, where we have come from. And our original place where we were born. And King Emmanuel said, lion born in an alligator pond, and still lion. So Ethiopians born here in the Western world are Ethiopians, we are Africans. And at no time should I lose that vision that we are Africans. I know our youngsters are not very up on the word repatriation, as in the past when Rastafari was drumming and sounding repatriation, because in those days we were so fed up and we were so oppressed that we thought nothing else but going home forward to Africa. And so we hope that this voice continues to sound and resound on repatriation, because it is important that we don't remain here and just try to build this Western world, because we have no security. We don't own these lands. We were brought here, and they are not going to give us any autonomy over here. And our only hope is to build Africa. So repatriation is about returning to our home, to build it and to rebuild it. When we talk about repatriation, we know that today many of I&I are looking at self-repatriation. If you have your money, you can go home. We recommend that. Don't linger here. But we have to remember that just going to Africa alone, the fare is $400,000. And when you reach there, you have to have sustenance. And that is why we talk about the mass movement that is to be provided for, that requires strategic planning, that requires infrastructural development. I listened to the Honorable Empress as she talked about we want hospitals, we want schools. These infrastructure need to be had in Africa when we get there. Sometimes, one time people say, dance a yard before you dance abroad. But Rastafari say, since as they bring us here abroad, we have to dance abroad and they go back to dance a yard. So that is why we need here to do the things, to practice it, to set the hospitals, to set the schools, to set all the things that we need, the proper infrastructure, so that when we go there, because we know, say, you know, Rastafari come from Shakarambles, because I know the days when we only could live in the hills and in the bush, and that's it. But today we have come out, because we are the kings and the queens, and they subserve us to that kind of life here. But we know that we are royal in our homeland. And so we have to live it to show them that this is what we are accustomed to. This is what we do. This is what we have created in Timbuktu and Timbuktu. Long time before Europeans know about anything. So we have to do those things. We have to create those things, those infrastructure. Of course, we know that these infrastructure, of course, will require a kind of funding. And this is where we know that the benefactors of the slave trade must, in some way, do something to the return of the masses who cannot find 400,000 and who cannot go to Africa to build a house. But there must be provision. There must be interface. And that is where we call upon the CARICOM government to interface with the government of Africa, to create that kind of infrastructure, to create that legal setting, that when we get there, we can be properly processed, to be recognized as African wherever we choose to go. And there needs to be interfacing with the repatriates that are leaving, and there need to be interface with the people in Africa, where we are going. And of course, these things require what we call continuous communication. Continuous communication that is going to result in actual factuality of movement, moving mass amount of people from one global location to another requires transportation. It requires economic provision. And so there need to be I who are at the helm to really lead the charge, to create the kind of discussion and to look at the systems that are there. We have to remember that there is a 10-point agenda that has been developed and created by the CARICOM nation of countries. And this 10-point agenda of strategies that are the most advantage strategies that can result and create the proper sequencing of repatriation must be observed, and we have to pay attention to these things, because the 10-point agenda outlines the best strategies that can effect repatriation in its smoothest and most effective way. So these are some of the things that we have to look at when we talk about repatriation. You know, I was reasoning with Honorable Russ Negus from Root House, you know, and he said some time ago he brought some ancients forward to Africa in one of his traditions, because he does make those traditions of going to Africa a couple times. But he said he brought those ancients to see heaven. Of course, that is how we talk about Africa. But we have to remember that is not the kind of fantasism in Christianity, that when you get there, it's a street of gold, it's milk and honey waiting, it's a mansion prepared We have to remember that we are going to create these things. That is why we need now in this time a new faculty of understanding about what repatriation means, the reality of it, and that is why many people are saying, oh, the mass movement is difficult. So let us go there when we have our money. Let us go home. Don't run to America and Canada and England. Run to Africa, because that is the new frontier. That is where it's happening. And we have to remember too, that it's not just today. White people have gone there and have usurped it and have commandeered it from I and I. And they tell us that when you see us, we look like children suffering from Erasmus. They wash you over like it's some big belly with fly coming out of our mouths. So why are they there? If it is all that bad. And they scare us from going to Africa. And so when you talk about going to Africa, people say, after me, I want the cannibal eat me. The worst cannibal, when the black man was telling the constellation of the stars and creating great water ducts and great cultivation, the white man was still living in caves and in trees like rats and bats and monkeys. And we were well civilized people, chartering the seas and the rivers. So we have to know these things, and we have to tell our children these things, that if we were aware of our glorious, colorful past, we would be more inclined to own ourselves and to look at our glorious future. So let us understand what repatriation is. Repatriation is not just a word. It's a movement of reality. It's a development of ourselves, having been brought through this horrendous system of slavery and the wicked transatlantic slave trade, where we have been robbed of everything. So when we talk about repatriation, we talk about it with that amount of verve, that amount of interest, that it is our home, and we should never forget that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Repatriation as a part of our self-development is really touchable. Yeah, man. First, man, the rest of the time on the panel is yours. And my apologies, the rest of the panel, we have to just call it that at the end. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, hear the pause, Emperor King Selassie. But first, I want to take this moment and give thanks for those who came before I and I. You know, Naya being girls, we are always declared as the mother that gave birth to this entire thing. But we want to definitely recognize the Leonard P. Hall Foundation. We want to recognize the Bobo Shanti. We want to recognize the great 12 tribe of Israel, champion repatriation, and everything will come afterwards. The 10 King, you know, we are talking about the great school of vision, the house of dream that is hosting all and using time, no matter about ganja of the bone. My part of it is about the mental, right? That is what is the mentality. And I can't speak to it because I was mad. You know, still have some madness in me to say, you know, but then when this madness comes from the fact that I live in a zoo, colonial imposition was about taking, no different from how they take animals from all over the world. That is how they take people, right, and put them in a places where they don't belong. Separate them from themselves, separate them from their teachings, separate them from their own family values, separate them from their nation values. And after a while working out there in the system, it couldn't hold like anymore. And I started to look how I could have come out in a madness there. And the same people who them say mad, is the people that I start look at, which is Rastafari. And when I say Rastafari in that particular way, I remember, you know, man now walk with no shoes and I first father is profile, and I go around that, not all. And I second father is Aya. No who know Aya. But the first time I see the brethren, the man smell of garlic. I mean, no, some man will come in there and say, one smell like that. You know, my people don't grow and smell like garlic, but that was very interesting to me. And then I start looking for Rastafari and recognize to myself, say, they represent and want to harmonize with what is the true ruler, which is nature. And that became very important to I. Because I see nature as everything. It gives I and I everything. I remember the voice of Mama Aitine on the head saying, the only thing I want is what the earth has. And then I realized also I don't need the work, I don't need this, I don't need that, and I start walking barefoot and barefoot, and I start moving at this particular way, and the level of freedom will come from it. But when I start to observe, one of the things I observe the most, and I want to recognize and take time out for that, is the Rastafari youths. Because as the mother knows something and the father knows something and made a conscious decision, and Sister Mitzi talk about it. We take these youths, even though we know they must go in high school, because the school that teach them purify to their mental desire. And we take these youths and we send them in at the school. How much have we ever interviewed these youths to find out what they go through with the little Babylon children there? We drop them here, we do everything to them. And yet still, any youth will stand up today. We go through all of that. And has never been analyzed by the Rastafari community. I take my hat off to the island. I respect everything about the island. I know so the island go through some things that is not being told. And if we're going to look at the mental health of our future, these children are now having children. We need to assess it. And we have to assess it through how we look at ourselves. So I is not one at the Rastafari we actually go forward to Africa as other Rastafari go to Africa. When I go to Africa, I go to how I was stolen from Africa. So I never really go Ethiopia. I go Benin. I go Togo. I go in Ghana. I go in some place where when I turn off I road, them say Africa is the colonial space. The space that you are going is called Merita in the art of Ubia. Is this where I go? And when I go there, the first question them ask I is, how's your house? How's my house? What that mean? You know what I mean? Are you in good accordance with your mother and father? The second question is, have you committed any murder? And when them ask the question about commit murder, one brother did know him kind of, he was a veteran in the army. So they all always start look around for them and say, yo, this is too. And then we hear them say, who do abortion? And all of the women them kind of look away. What that should be in a condom? And it was all start to realize what murder means. And then I look forward to the Rastafari community and why I say, family. The root of our Africanness that we were stolen from is built on the foundation of family. And then your ancestors know so you, your grandmother, your grandfather, spirit is what living in you. No African in the bush where I go, where they don't call Africa, they call it Merita. When they want to talk to them elders, they don't stand up over their mother and have a conversation and go down. In honor of their mother and their father. I do it sometimes with I feel like ancient them as I don't really know what I used to them pull out still. Which is what they're supposed to do, is really pull you up. But in those places where them tell me about war and all of them kind of something, what we found out is that family and spirituality is the same word. So when they bring us over in this zoo, and they say, man, know yourself. And then, as Rastafari, you don't want to eat dead meat. Your mother and your father only see Jesus. Then you disconnect you now from your family and you stand up out here so by yourself. Then you need some aspis and you need some things like what Sister Talima talked about. Because these people value the voice of their elders. No father who grew a child, no father don't even grow a son. His son is grown by the grandfather. No mother no grow no daughter, it is grown by the grandmother. So that the information can be passed on. Our mental health crisis is in the fact that no for Rastafari don't even God and mother place no more. Because guess what? Them a cook some things where we don't want to eat. Every time you go to them, I tell you why you need to go back to Jesus. That is why the white man to I and I took away I and I family values. And I give thanks for Rastafari when I come and I look and I could and say, no, pitney. Yeah, man, multiply the earth. And right now, Africa is one of the youngest nations. Because Africans stop on pitney and they're worried about it. They're worried about it because the African nation will take over at some time because we are the youngest nation on the earth right now. So I urge I to go within I say stand firm and sit up straight. Because I know I self. And I give thanks to every youth of Rastafari. You don't call themselves the bloodline and where your story and what you have done. How you live through Babylon school. Yeah, I take a talk to the youths then. To hear the powers of Rastafari, the mental space that we have preserved, that we can shine a light for repatriation and lead the community to work. Real pride in Selassie. That's all. Free the people until that philosophy. Yeah, we will never be free. That's right.
Brothers and sisters, I want you to just give a round of applause. The conversation has not ended. This is just an introduction so that it continues in our separate groups. Give thanks to the panel. Please help me to thank them. Yeah, man. Bless you. Give thanks.
We want to give thanks. So just give our panelists a nice round of applause. See, I'm one of the elder mother, one of we are Sister May, a nice round of applause and we give thanks to the panel. Yeah, nice.
You can't do that.
We're moving on with shorter time, but we had an elder here. We had an elder in Bongo Trevor. Bring Bongo Trevor again from Rasta. We have this elder here, and
you want to pay for the
and we decided that
I don't want food
congregation could not give a little strength financially. Congregation, I want to give thanks to the island for responding positively, because when the contribution box came back, it was counted and handed to me 53,000 Jamaican dollars. Hold on. We're about to kill on. What's the artist there tonight? Well, yes, man, because you're there. Because the foundation of Rastafari has built this kind of energy. So 53,000 plus 50 US dollar. How much that done? 60. We are left with 60,000 in the 60th anniversary for Bongo Trevor. Put your hands together. Hold on, Bongo Trevor. And we put puss in a bag. More the lion would have put in there. So here we are at the 60 grand this in the 60th anniversary. Bongo Trevor, this is just a token of our love to the eye. And we wish the eye would, we wish we could have multiplied with more zero from the 60. So I love it. We could just give Bongo Trevor again a nice round of applause. Bongo Trevor.
Aye, 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 Rastafari. I am saying I Cuando la regala la dibuja la Atlántica de Babi. Y va a tocar la pizza. Kini la abraço. Porque princess is a golota pizza. I like you to put the hands on the job. You are going to fight your divine worship. That because you had the very path of righteous freedom. And know that in thy right mind, knowledge, understanding to do thy will. Blessed your soldier. And all the things, the naked clothes, the straight nourished, the head protected, and the infant shared by. But when we are past at the key, it is yet nothing, it is yet not sea, and it is pouring at the beast. Oh, give us all a treat, the thy kingdom. Oh, those eye, the last eye.
Family, we give thanks for the patriots and matrix of Rastafari. Bongo Trevor, it's a great honor and a great privilege and a joy to have you here in your 90s and to receive this contribution from our family. All your children contributed for you. Give thanks. Rastafari. Come, let's go.
I'm not a good father, dear father. I call you your children to strive, but be dear power as far as whatever.
I remember those who was not here, His Majesty said to Bongo Trevor, tell them again when Majesty said to you when him shake your hand.
His Majesty say, continue on the world that you are on.
Say to trot along, angels trot along in a jar own way. Congo man say trot along, angels trot along in a jar own way. No persecution, I and I. Don't take Babylon crosses in the highway. I say they are tardy, but the seat of the glory. One more time, the fashion show, you're lining up. I say they are tardy, but the seat of the glory. At this time, family, we are ready to go. We have some beautiful princesses, empress, some lion around that top. So, all right, ready to go?
Yes, I. So, tonight we're celebrating so many things about Ethiopia. We're celebrating the beauty and the culture of Ethiopia in Ethiopian dress, which is also a very common part of I dressing as Rastafari. So I want to thank my sister Yodit Hilton, who is the Ethiopian Honorary Consul, who has actually brought this to life for us this evening. So we're going to welcome our family on stage to celebrate Ethiopia. We have our brothers, we have our sisters, we have our youths celebrating the beauty of Ethiopia.
Oh, nobody. Oh, shush. You know from when? That's why no one was on the line. You know from when I muted the mic when the music was playing. All them poem there, you know, get none of it. My people, I was having my lunch. I was having my little lunch break, and I'm a friend and I operate the camera, and I had after eating, then we kind of take a five, and never realized that I went and take over the camera and was there, and I need to check that the mic is time see. The mic, the mute, and no one never hear the 2 points, 2 bad points. Rasta Cora and Rasta Cora and the other I pray, but 2 points. So miss that. Yeah, still, yeah. That was coming in. I tell you, welcome to the big event. Ranny Williams Entertainment. No, power up. I need to pitch my tent, man. I pitch my tent, I need to go inside the tent. I want to say that good for me. I want to say that good for me, man. I want to say that good for me, man. I tell you, I am an engineer, I'm gone. Okay. Yes, I. Pay attention to the vehicle, so you know what you're going to yeah, but you can get your park, I just want to get the police. Good. Alright, man, I'll end the live, you know. I'll end the live and join back in a while in the future. The one that going good. I say sure going good this morning when this morning I lose, I miss a lot at the airport, you know. But at least I'm inviting ones to come down the night where we have a good evening or a good night. But this morning, man, so idle for me. I tell you, so idle for this morning. Miss at the Haile Selassie High School, or the lovely chanting, the teachers and the students and every racism. It was so, like uplifting. I tell you, like all the vibe, all the virus. The students, them man, they were so involved in that chant, So we love that. I'll close off for a while and later come over when the chanting, you just come back and jump on the live. I'm sorry about the muted mic. For a while, about 3 or 4 performances after all the modeling. It was the modeling going some music, man, I know. Sorry about the mute of the mic, and join me now. So now being given enough mute now, man, because no copyrights, alright? So join for the bingy chanting, okay? Yeah, man, hope you hear me. So big up, and when you come on the live, man, just like out, just press the like button, the thumbs up button, right there at the top. Thumbs up, you have thumbs up, Okay. Thank you for coming also to the live.